This video is made for adult collectors because cheap toys, because this economy. God, I hate it so much. Oh, this is exciting. I got a new Bionicle. Let's get it open. And oh. That's not right. The reason I keep making this Bionicle joke is because you build these like you would a... This is not a Bionicle, but you build these like you would a Bionicle. It's hilarious. Anyways, let's get Optimus Prime assembled and get Winua's box out of here. Let's get Optimus Prime assembled real quick so I can show you what that looks like. It's very, very simple. It is out of focus. That's what it is. It's just ball joints and ball joints in pegs. Very easy thing to put together. You just snap it all into place. Here we have legs. Torso goes on. There we go. Then the shoulders. I forget which way they're properly supposed to. I think, no, it's this way. There we go. Autobot symbol facing forward. Clip those in. Get the forearms. Doesn't matter which side. They're all sculpted. Well, not sculpted the same. The vent things go on the outside. Then you take this, plug this in, take the head, plug in the head, and then take whatever hands you want, because he comes with many. This one's stiff. There we go. Put the gun in his hand. We built an Optimus Prime. That's how all of these idiots are built. So we all like cheap, right? Especially nowadays when the prices of everything has gone up, curse you Canadian grocery chains. But collecting toys and other hobbies have become a bit pricey at times, so I'm super happy these exist. These are Yolopark's AMK Mini Series figures, which at the time of writing this haven't actually released yet. They cost about 11 bucks US each, or 50 bucks if you want to get the whole set because it comes in like a simple package thing, so you get a discount. I don't know. There's 6 of them to collect, so that's pretty epic. Shout out to Yolopark for sending these my way, and using code TOYGUY in the link below should save you 5% off at checkout. Using the link will help the channel, so I urge you to do that. Thank you very much for sending these my way, Yolopark. So these 6 are little small deluxe size dudes that you, again, build like Bionicles. God, Yolopark, just make Bionicles already. Like, I would kill for an AMK Tahoe right about now. But these are a lot more fun than I thought they'd be. I should stress that the boxes for these are pre-production and not final. That's what they told me. They sent them to me flattened in a shipping box, and they came in the highest quality Ziploc bags I've ever seen in my entire life. But the toys don't feel 100% final either. Certain tolerances and things on joints can be either really tight or fine. So I'm going to chalk that down to non-final toys and hope the final products are slightly better toleranced. It's not horrible, it's just there are some really tight joints. So you get Prime, Soundwave, Megatron, Starscream, Bumblebee, and the Lock of Grimm, who is probably my least favorite. I don't know, he just is a hollow light brick with some legs that go forward and back. He doesn't do nearly as much as the rest, and it's only 7 pieces as opposed to the others 14 to 15 pieces minus their extra hands. So his build was a bit boring, and he looks fine, I guess, but I definitely need to go over him with like some extra paint or something. The whole thing just feels a bit bland to me. Same cannot be said for the rest of them though. They look great. Megatron is funny because like it's just the big one but smaller, and I like the big one, so I love the small one. Prime though, at least from pictures, doesn't seem the same as that big one that they're releasing later on this year, but it's kind of like a stylization of Prime, and I very much dig it. It looks super dynamic. Soundwave looks a lot like the New Age one, which I find funny. And Starscream reminds me of Howling Meteor with his color palette. Bumblebee is the only one of the bipedal guys that I feel is a bit off. The nature of his design means his limbs feel just weird. It's hard to describe, but he's the one I mess with the least because he can't look interesting or dynamic in most poses as the rest can, and no, Soundwave's door does not open. They could use a touch of extra paint, but again, these are called AMK Advanced Model Kits, so you're meant to paint them yourself. They do come with so many extra hands, but it's all the same per figure. You get open hands, fists, and pointing fingers, and you can get so expressive with these little things, and you get a pair of each hand per toy, so you get 2 open hands, 2 fists, 2 pointing fingers, etc., etc. So there's lots of different hands. So the articulation on all 4 of these is relatively the same, so we're just gonna go through. Let's go through Megatron, because we've done Prime already. But it's basically the same as all of them. So you have the head, which is on a ball joint. It can tilt, it can look up and down, it can rotate. I can knock a toy off my desk. These shoulders are on ball joints. They can rotate, they can go in and out. You have a over 90-degree bend at the elbow, bicep rotation, wrist rotation. You have waist rotation. Megatron is the only one that has actual hip skirts that can flare out of the way. They're so tiny, my autofocus is having problems. Legs can go forward, they can go back, they can go out and in. You have thigh rotation. You have a bend at the knee that bends over 90 degrees. Some of them are just 90 degrees, but like it's the same sort, it's a knee bend. It's no difference. Feet can go forward a little bit, they can go back a little bit, and you have ankle tilt. So they all have the same level of articulation, just some of them have a little bit more range in certain areas and a little bit less range in other areas. So that's those 4. Bumblebee is a little finger came out of nowhere. Bumblebee's a little different just due to how everything is sculpted. You have the same sort of head and shoulder and all that sort of stuff and waist, but the hips can only go forward that far and they can go back all the way, in and out, blah, 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 bicep, thigh, knee. But then the feet, forward and back, and then the ankle tilt is only about that deep, just due to the way everything is sculpted. It only goes that far. So he can look a bit awkward in some poses just due to how G1 Bumblebee's feet are designed. And then Grimlock. Grimlock can only do a couple of things. He can rotate his head, he can look up and down, his mouth can open and close. It can close all the way to look like that. You got ball joint. Ow! These are really sharp, by the way. Ball joints at the arms, and then the legs can go forward, back, and bend at the knee. Kind of wish these were on ball joints so they could splay out a little bit and you could look a bit more intimidating. You can do the accuracy T-Rex if you want to be actually historically accurate to how the T-Rex walked, but yeah, he's probably the most limited and the kind of the most boring one to me when it comes to the articulation. It's not like, what else are you gonna do with a tubby dinosaur standing in the 1980s stance? I guess I get it, but it would have been nice if you could do a little bit more with it, because like these guys do so much more. And and the tail can rotate. That's about it. That's it. Yeah. So these little guys are pretty good for only being 11 bucks. I honestly would maybe skip Grimlock, but if you want to buy them all for 50, you're basically getting Grimlock for free. They are neat. I definitely recommend at least one for a little desk toy or a nice little painting project if you want to customize these things. Thanks again to Yolopark for shooting these my way. This has been my look at Yolopark's AMK Mini Toys. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.